Okay, good morning to all of you. Let's start our today's lesson. So as you see, today we will talk about mistakes in language learning process, and I will teach you how to avoid them. Okay, so I do believe that you will be active.
Okay.
Okay, let's start. Okay, so as you see, so we will start from the mistakes of failing to use proper verb tenses. So honestly speaking, I don't want my lesson like be in they conducted in a deductive way. So by the way, you know, yeah, what's inductive and what's deductive methods of teaching languages? Do you know? So what is deductive? What's inductive method of teaching languages? So who can answer me to this question? Dinara, you want?
When teacher and students actively participate in the lesson,
Okay.
something like that.
Something like that. Okay, when student and teacher actively participate in the lesson, it's called what? What is called? Teacher and
Inductive.
student lesson, yeah? No, actually, in the deductive method of teaching language, it means like it's the teacher-centered lesson. It is the deductive teaching. Don't forget, okay? So what about the inductive way? Inductive means like
when students
yeah,
actively participate.
student-centered lesson. So I want that you will be active today. So that's why we will use the inductive method. Yeah, that's why now you will read one by one, I mean the statement, and you will try to explain it. Okay. So today you will be active.
Okay.
That's why who will start? So it is not so difficult. If you cannot understand, I will explain you.
Can I start?
Yes, Dinara.
First common mistake is failing to use proper verb tenses. It is important to use the right tenses for your intended meaning. People who start learning second language often face with this mistake. They tend to use wrong tenses, completing verb exercises, and also they miss the verbs and then using a wide array of verb tenses through speaking and writing practice. So I suppose that using the proper tenses helps practicing speaking and writing.
Okay, so you have finished it, yeah, I guess.
Yes.
Okay, let's start. So who will continue? Who will continue?
Can I?
Yes. Asalay.
Yes.
Asalay. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's start. Second one.
Misusing vocabulary. Many students often misuse vocabulary while memorizing words. For instance, the Spanish word embarazada means pregnant. You could slip up to and try to use it mean embarrassed.
Okay.
So I think that sometimes many of students use vocabulary that isn't in its meaning.
Okay, that's not relevant, yeah, to the context you mean?
Yeah.
Okay. And then, so for example, so as you see here, it's written two, or two, yeah? So how you can identify it's two, or two? So how do you think?
From the context. From the context.
Yeah. By the context, we can identify what to use. Okay, and how do you think why the word embarrassed we can like translate as embarrassed because of its spelling or what?
Yeah.
Similar
Sometimes
they are.
students use the vocabulary according to their spelling, not the meaning.
It's a little bit confusing,
That's why, yeah.
Okay, next one. Who will continue? Who will continue? It's about subject and verb agreement.
Yes.
May I, teacher?
Who? Who is talking?
Sagdiana.
Sagdiana. Okay, let's start. Sagdiana, I'm so sorry, I can't see you. Can I see your face, please?
Depending on what language you are learning, there will be different verb endings to go along with different subjects. For instance, a student learning English might say they eat. Some learners cannot put the verb in the correct form. That's a mistake.
Okay, so how do you think why they use like the verb eats with s in a plural form? They confuse or something? Or what?
Maybe they are confused.
They are confused. Maybe in their language they don't have this like agreement, yeah? Subject and verb agreement. So Sagdiana, tell me please, have you ever came across with these problems like verb and subject agreement while learning or teaching English language? Okay, not teaching, of course, learning.
I think when in my school years, I came across with that. Sometimes I forgot about putting the verb in the correct form with the he, she, it, with the pronouns.
But nowadays everything is okay, yeah, I guess. So you can do it quickly and without like problem.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Okay, this one is the first one, inaccurate or incomplete education. Because of inaccurate or incomplete education, we can came across with many problems, yeah, in language learning. So which kind of problems it may be? Inaccurate and incomplete education, what does it mean?
To jest chala okuchanie.
Inaccurate or incomplete
Maybe
education.
sometimes in English we have words like affect and effect. Maybe they misuse this type of words and vocabulary in their writing and in their speaking.
Okay, so what about incomplete education?
Incomplete.
Students like don't treat seriously intent in to the language, to the learning language.
Okay, incomplete education means that they started to learn something, yeah? I mean the language, so it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Maybe it's English, maybe it's French, German, yeah? So they incompleted this language, yeah? I mean the learning process. So as a result, they do what? So help me. So as a result, they stop learning. So it's written that, so who will explain me this statement, whether it's from faulty teaching or simply not learning enough? So have you ever came across with the faulty teaching process? Maybe at school, in your tutorial courses?
Yeah.
Can I, teacher?
Okay,
Well,
who is that?
Lola.
Lola. Okay, Lola. Lola,
Well,
I
I
cannot see
guess,
your face.
Unfortunately, my camera is broken. That's why I can't show you.
Okay.
Well, the fault of teaching is I came across with that when I was at school, and I think that it can be really, it can influence really bad to the process of our learning. And that's why I think whenever if the applicant wanna learn something, and the way how teacher explains us can really impact on our teaching. For example, if a teacher selected some way of teaching, like giving all the information, but can't explain it really well, I guess that teacher just do it for the record, and that's it. And really persistent learner can't get enough information in order to fulfill their results. And then simply not learning enough, it also can be like the issue for us when we are procrastinating, or just we dislike the way what we learn, or we just dislike some kind of what the language, or it's not for us. That subject can be really rocket science. That's why both of them can really
Influence.
deteriorate the way of our learning.
Okay. Even sometimes, you know, that I have heard
Yeah.
that many students pronounce even the words like advantages and disadvantages. You know, that it's really annoying. So I think that it is because of faulty
I
teaching.
didn't catch it. What did you say?
Lola?
And teacher, can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Nargisa wants to join our lesson, but she can't
Okay, I'm so
join.
sorry.
Can you let her?
Nargisa.
Nazarova.
Okay, let's continue. So I said that even sometimes I hear that many students use the words like in an inaccurate way, in a wrong way. So for example, they say advantages and disadvantages. Yeah, it's really annoying. So I think that it is the reason of faulty teaching. It's just
And development, yes.
it's just a real example. I mean, a real life example. Okay, let's continue. Maftuna, you will continue this one, avoidance. While learning process, what can be, I mean, what is the meaning of the term avoidance? What we can avoid while learning languages?
Maybe doing some kind of mistakes.
No, it's not about mistakes, I guess. Avoiding something. While learning process, we can avoid like maybe complex structures of grammar, yeah? So read it, okay, then you will explain it.
Okay. Avoidance occurs when a language structure is particularly difficult.
Okay.
So try to use the most appropriate structures, possibly even if they require extra effort.
So what does it mean?
For example, we avoid a particular if the structure is difficult in our maybe in grammar in some kind of way, we try to avoid such kind of situations to use appropriate structure or particularly like this.
Okay, so for example, let me explain it in a few words. So imagine that you are elementary students in language learning process, and after being taught to present simple, you will have like present perfect. Yeah, so present perfect is a little bit difficult. I mean, might be a little bit difficult for you. That's why you try like to avoid it. Is that clear? So it means that you should accept all the rules. I mean, so how can I put it better? So you should accept all the rules. Is it difficult? Is it simple? It doesn't matter. Is that clear?
Yes.
Okay. So let's continue. So next one is simplification. What is simplification in language learning process? Zuhra, Hosinova Zuhra will answer to this question. Zuhra. So who wants to answer? Simplification.
May I?
Who is this?
Maftun.
It's me.
Maftuna?
Yes.
Okay.
Simplification. Some learners may consistently use simpler verb tenses in place of more challenging tenses. Well, I understand by this that some kind of students are afraid of you, or as a result of lack of some kind of vocabulary, or like such kind of situations, they try to avoid using challenging tenses, and in that case, they try to use simpler verb tenses, I think.
Okay,
And,
they want to simplify, yeah? They want to simplify everything. So how do you think, is that right or it's wrong, like to simplify everything in language learning process?
I think it's not, it's error, because we have to do some kind of development in our learning. If we use simple tenses, we will stop in one place and there will be no progress in our learning, I think. So we have to try to use challenging tenses in order to develop ourselves, I think.
Okay. Okay, I think that the last one is overgeneralization. Overgeneralization, and we will end with this one. Okay, who wants to end up the lesson? Overgeneralization. By talking about overgeneralization.
Can I, teacher?
Asalai? Yes.
Yes.
You may.
Overgeneralization occurs when a learner incorrectly applies a rule to a situation in which that rule does not apply.
Okay.
To avoid overgeneralization, it helps to pay particular attention to exceptions to rules, such as irregular verbs. Like, as we know, in nouns, we should add s or es to the, in order to use a plural form of nouns. But some nouns, and they don't add themselves s or es. They change their structure word. And in tenses, we have this type of rule as well, like adding d or ed to an past form of tenses.
Okay, overgeneralization means like taking everything from your native language and putting it into your second language. Yeah, I mean, while acquiring second language, you want to use all the grammar rules which you have learned in your native language, but sometimes it doesn't suit, yeah, in 100%. So for example, it means like overgeneralization. So in general, you have understood, yeah, what's that?
Yes.
Okay, so for example, in Uzbek language, we don't have regular and irregular verbs, yeah? But in English language, we have them. So in
Yeah,
total,
that's why some learners use this type of words incorrectly.
yes, they confuse sometimes.
Yeah, and there appear overgeneralization.
Okay, thank you very much to all of you for participation. See you next time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
teacher.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
teacher.